What's up? Hope everybody's doing well out there today. It's your boy Carcino. And for the Patreons that's out there watching this, I want to say thank you for your continued support. And you keep the engine going. So this is why we keep giving you and delivering you the best, the very best of what we do. So without further ado, oh, wait a minute, somebody tried to interrupt. That's different. So without further ado, let's get into this Jay Z Treach situation that went down. Now, Patreons, you're going to see this for a while. But the rest of YouTube might not get it right away. So, when this situation happened with Queen Latifah and Fox, Jay and Treach already had a history. Like I'm telling you, back in the early 90s, a lot of you young people don't understand. Naughty by Nature held down the East Coast with hip hop. The 91, 92 era, all the way to like 95, 96. Naughty by Nature was synonymous in that time frame. Before Biggie came into the picture and was doing their thing, Naughty by Nature was large. So when they actually branched over, they hit suburbia quicker than anything that someone had seen, because most of their songs were radio friendly. Now, their kids in the suburbs was dressing like Naughty. They wanted to carry bats. They wanted to, well, they couldn't get a machete. But still, Treach was looked at as, man, he's tough. But he also was nice on that pen. So his pen game was crazy. The way he compound his words and the way he rhymes. Jay, who was trying to get on at that time, around this time, I think him and Jazz, he was still cool with Jazz, but they didn't really, come and connect like they used to. Like he was more hanging out with Kane. So while he was hanging out with Big Daddy Kane, and he able to meet Treach and all these dudes, and he was like knew a Treach rhyme that he had did on the first album, and it was like, yeah, that was crazy. I don't know if it was Joke the Joker, but it was a Treach rhyme, and he's spitting it like the whole Treach rhyme. And he's like, man, you got a good memory. He was like, yeah, in this business, you gotta have it. But Jay don't write anything down. He didn't like to do that. What Jay would do is memorize a line, a few words, then he'll memorize the sentence. Then he'll go to the next one and then memorize that. And he keeps compounding so it looks like he's talking to himself. But he's mumbling, but he's actually writing in the process. So he wrote a song right there. He was just like in the corner listening to the beat that was playing while the DJ was there. And this is live during the show. And Jay, what was that? I think Vinny from Naughty by Nature tried to run up and talk to him. He gave him the finger like, hold on 1 minute. Like he was in the process. And that's when he was like, no, I'm writing right now. Like I'm working on something. He was like, give me a minute. Like, I'll come deal with you in a minute. And Vinny took that kind of like a diss. Like, oh, wow. Like, dude think he big enough to do that? Like, who's this dude? But he was actually writing a song. So Vinny had a little, like, oh, who this dude think he is? We naughty by nature. So when they went on stage one night, they was like feeling they were getting dissed. Like, yo, Jersey's up in here. Yo, y'all gotta put respect on Jersey. We was holding the East Coast down and this and that. So Vinny was doing all this. Not really Treach. But Jay felt like Naughty by Nature felt a certain way. And then Ognell, they were bringing up Queen Latifah. So Treach and Ognell, they both would work on Queen Latifah, helping her with her rhymes. And then they all were signed into a group called the Flavor Unit. And the Flavor Unit was on and popping then. It was on and popping. So Jay wasn't really working with Fox at first. Like I told y'all, Smooth the Hustler basically was working with her and did basically her whole mixtape, which was her demo tape at the time. But she had a whole bunch of songs that she spit into, and that basically got her signed. If she didn't do that tape, she wouldn't have got signed. Let's just put it that way. So, like I said, we did the bidding war for Fox and everything else. So when they had the incident with Queen Latifah and Fox and they fell into it, and Foxy went on radio and said what she said about Queen Latifah, like, man, this B is staring at my titties. Well, everywhere I go, this chick is staring me down. Like, I know when a chick is hitting on me. So she insinuated that these, women are gay and all this stuff, and was saying it on the air. As I told you, it's a different era then. This stuff was really frowned upon. It wasn't like everybody now, they cheer and throw you a party for it. But that time, it was ostracized. Now, having women battle in rap has happened before, but nothing like this, to where it was two women involved on the song. Jay and Treach. Well, first, the first song was so subliminal, people thought Queen Latifah was talking about Lil' Kim. Because Lil' Kim got more popular when her album dropped. So that jumped off the page. Like, as soon as that happened, jumped off the page. Now, people's like, oh man, what is this? Because it was on the Set It Off soundtrack. So now, and everybody saw Cleo on Set It Off, and saw Queen Latifah play this rugged lesbian chick, and the way she was making out, it was like, damn, Queen Latifah, man, she took this role seriously. People had never thought about it like that, because she was on TV playing Khadijah, but she didn't realize she's more like Cleo. So now she's the CEO businesswoman, doing all of these different things that she's doing. She was no longer wearing that big 12-piece bucket of chicken hat on every day, talking about ladies first and being inspirational. Now she was venomous. Just Cleo wrote. She was rapping more like the dudes again. Now she's rugged. So Ocknell and Treach heard some type of diss record or some mention again by Foxy. And once she did that, they came out with part 2 of Name Calling. And she didn't say her name again, but you knew exactly who she was talking about, which was Foxy Brown. Then there's a shot in there for Jay, talking about them dudes who's writing your rhymes for you, guys you standing with, and thinking because they pretty. It's funny. Jay Z was called pretty in this thing, but yeah. Think because they pretty. It's a lot of whack MFers who went platinum at the time. Because when this beef went down, Jay Z's album, Volume 1 or whatever, was supposedly headed to platinum status and all this stuff, or his album or whatever. But anyway, he was in line to be the new Biggie. Right? So Naughty by Nature was going down, he was going up. So Jay returned with the rhyme with Foxy Brown. And when he did that, and he started throwing shots in there, and it was basically they were using Foxy, he was using Queen Latifah for them to have this sparring match with the test of the pen. Like which one they could make which one sound better in the diss. And to me, Latifah's, the second one, Calling Out Names Part 2, was the better song than all of them. So the tension was there, and people was like feeling it. And then Biggie died, Pac died, and that was over because Puffy had a thing where he's trying to mend all this because Treach was cool with Big and always been cool with Biggie. So when the whole thing happened with Pac, he had to fall back. It's like, I'm going to fall back from hanging with y'all because I don't know what's going on here. My man's is Pac, and this is going on. And as soon as Pac passed, he was back hanging with Big. Some people on the West Coast still felt a certain way about that. Mainly some of the outlaws. Now, Puff is trying to bridge the pain of everything that's been going on. So he wanted to do this ceremony where, people hug. They had West Coast, East Coast guys hit the stage, and then they hugged. And like, that's it. And they had some of the outlaws there. And Jay with them was there, Treach was there. And he was like, I don't care what y'all got going on. So Puff was like, told Jay and Treach, I don't care what y'all got going on. All that's over. We ending all the bullshit tonight. Everything's over. Like, dude, do you realize what's going on? Or what's happening out here? It's all over. So any little thing y'all got, big man, that don't even matter. That don't even weigh nothing. Not tonight. And the way Jay came out and gave Tupac love and Biggie love, and then he gave a check to Big's mom from a tour and all this. And Jay was getting ready to do his tour and do a show that they had. It was coming up, and Naughty by Nature was there, and they was on the like they was on the card, but Jay was like one of the headliners, and Jay like, yeah, let Naughty by Nature do it. Like, let's get Naughty by Nature in there. Like, I love Treach, because deep down they loved each other, man. They were brothers. It was never a beef between the two. It was more competition to see which one could outwitty the other one in the rhyme. But they never had a beef. And even when the tension was hot, when Pac died and Big died, Jay told Treach right away, I never had a problem with that man. He's like, I never even knew it. He was like, I know, man. I know. That's how he is. He had a problem with somebody else and you was cool with him. He told him right out, flat. Yeah. He had a problem with somebody else. You was cool with him. So in his eyes, you with him. That's just how he is. That's why Treach fell back, doing all the hit him up and all this stuff. And everybody was like, man, Treach is doing this because he's like, look, man, like, I live here. I know these dudes, these cats, man. So with this whole beef thing, I'm just going to have to fall back. But Death Row never did like this is dedicated to Tupac, album or anything when he passed. Treach was the only one to do like Mourn You Till I Join You, and it was like, man, there was like no love because a lot of bridges was burnt, but Death Row didn't even do anything. But that's because Suge basically was arrested immediately and couldn't really be out there. But none of the other artists felt any responsibility to put something out, which really was kind of disappointing. But I knew it had to be really chaotic for that not to happen at that time. Because to me, that sounded crazy. I would have expected an album or something, you know? So that's all that really happened. Like, they were cool brothers to the end. Um, Jay and Treach, no problems. So that shows you competition can happen. Two people can have a problem. I already told you Queen Latifah and them, they all sat down and they hashed it out and there was all love. Like, they treat each other like sisters. You would have think those songs never existed. So this is just another moment in hip hop history, another truth behind for the Patreons who's gonna see it way before everybody else. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm out.